Waters from India's rivers will now be used for the country's interests, Prime Minister Modi said early this evening, speaking on the government's intention to curb the flow of water to Pakistan amid escalating tensions between New Delhi and Islamabad. PM Modi's statement comes against the backdrop of government taking steps to cut off water flow to Pakistan from the Baglihar Dam on the Chenab River and preparations to taper down runoffs from the Kishan Ganga project on the Jhelum. Now, a nationwide mock drill will be held across 244 districts in India tomorrow, that is May 7th. The exercise is aimed at improving national security. Preparedness will test first response capabilities in emergencies like air raids, blackouts and other disaster scenarios. The drill comes amid rising tensions between India and Pakistan following the deadly Pahalgam terror attack in April. These exercises will be the first of their kind in India since 1971, marking a significant step in civil defense training.
कल हमारे लिए वर्तमान के माहौल में यशस्वी गृह मंत्री का संदेश आया है और हम माननीय प्रधानमंत्री के नेतृत्व में भविष्य की सभी प्रकार की चुनौतियों से निपटने के लिए राज्य मध्य प्रदेश उनके नेतृत्व में सक्षम बने, इसलिए कल मॉक ड्रिल करने वाले हैं। कल सायंकाल हमारे इंदौर, भोपाल, ग्वालियर, जबलपुर और कटनी पांचों जिलों के अंदर मॉक ड्रिल होने वाली।
सिविल डिफेंस टीम्स को एक्टिवेट कर दिया है। सिविल डिफेंस के सभी इक्विपमेंट्स हमने चेक कर लिए हैं और हमारी प्रिपेयर्डनेस पूरी है। सिटी के अंदर कोई एक सेंसिटिव जगह चयनित करके और एक सही समय पर, जो कि सायरन के माध्यम से ही सिटीजन्स को बताया जाए ताकि रियल लाइफ सिचुएशन सिमुलेट हो, एक मॉक ड्रिल का आयोजन किया जाएगा। सभी इमरजेंसी सर्विसेज, मेडिकल, फायर, इन सब का, रेस्क्यू सर्विसेज, इनका रिस्पॉन्स टाइम चेक करना मेन प्राथमिकता और जनता को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जागरूक करना इस मॉक ड्रिल के तहत, ये इस मॉक ड्रिल का उद्देश्य रहेगा।
रिसेंटली पहलगाम के अटैक के बाद हमें इंस्ट्रक्शंस भी हैं और हम उसके मद्देनज़र हमने अपनी प्रिपेयर्डनेस और बढ़ाई हुई है और हम किसी भी सिचुएशन से निपटने के लिए अपने आप को तैयार करते हैं ताकि कोई भी रेस्क्यू हो तो हम अपनी जान बचाते हुए दूसरों की जान बचाएं, और यही अवेयरनेस हम लोगों में भी दे रहे हैं।
केंद्र सरकार के स्तर से वीसी ली गई, उसके बाद हम लोगों ने अपने अधिकारियों के साथ जो क्षेत्र में पदस्थापित हैं, विभिन्न जिलों में पदस्थापित डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट, एसपी, कमिश्नर, डीआईजी, आईजी, सब लोगों के साथ व्यापक रूप से विचार विमर्श हुआ है और सिविल डिफेंस प्रिपेयर्डनेस के लिए जो भी कार्रवाइयाँ करनी है उन सभी कार्रवाइयों पे उन्हें तत्परतापूर्वक कार्रवाई करने का निर्देश दिया गया है। और कल इसका मॉक ड्रिल होगा, तो मॉक ड्रिल के दौरान यह देखा जाएगा कि जहां कहीं भी कुछ त्रुटियां आएगी, गैप्स आएंगे, तो उन गैप्स को प्रतिपूर्ति करने की कार्रवाई भी की जाएगी। संवेदीकृत किया जा रहा है जनता को कि व्हाट आर द डूज एंड डोंट, सर्कुलेट भी किया जाएगा कि क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है उसके दौरान। तो इन सभी चीज़ों पे तैयारियां चल रही है।
India has issued a notice to airmen or NOTAM for a large-scale air exercise along the southern section of the Indo-Pakistan border that are scheduled for May 7th and 8th. This exercise, part of India's routine operational readiness drills, will see Indian Air Force conducting maneuvers across the international border in Rajasthan. According to the NOTAM, the exercise will begin at 3:30 p.m. on 7th of May, which is tomorrow, and conclude by 9:30 p.m. on 8th May, which is Thursday, restricting airspace in the affected areas involving all frontline aircrafts.
India's decision to hold very important military exercises, Air Force exercises in Rajasthan, these start tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. at night. In this particular area is particularly significant given the tensions between India and Pakistan. I should assert that these are pre-planned exercises as far as the Indian Air Force is concerned. But the area you see over here, this is right near or to the west of Jodhpur, along the international border, is a very large area. All of this comes at a time of great tensions where you'd see a significant number of military aircraft exercising over here. The end date is the 8th, but the time you see over here is UTC. IST is about 5.5 hours ahead. So these would end on the 9th early in the morning. Now, this isn't the first time that India has issued what's called a NOTAM or a notice to airmen. India has in fact done that with the maritime exercises. Pakistan has done that as well. But the fact that you have exercises like this now taking place is important, with the center, India and Pakistan being the center of attention. Remember, exercises like this are critical, but they are also extremely high intensity, and forces on both sides will certainly be on alert.
Now, at a closed-door meeting, the United Nations Security Council has slammed Islamabad over its alleged role in last month's horrific Pahalgam terror attack. NDTV's Gauri Dwivedi spoke exclusively to former ambassador to UN Ruchira Kamboj, decoding the meeting and how Pakistan remains isolated on the global stage. Listen in.
More about what's the larger ramifications from here on and India's successful diplomatic maneuvers. Ruchira Kamboj, India's former permanent representative to the United Nations, joins me live to talk more about this and unpack this pivotal development. Ms. Kamboj, thank you so much, ma'am, for joining me to talk more about this. Let me start first by asking you in terms of how do you read the failed attempt by Pakistan to try and turn this into a successful PR stunt at the UNSC?
Well, thank you, Gauri, and greetings to your viewers. What I would like to say here is that most UN meetings can be judged by outcomes or by support. So let's take a look at both. Was there an outcome to this meeting? Was there an outcome document? Nothing. There was no resolution, certainly. There was no statement. There was no press release. Instead, what happened? It appears from what we have been told that Pakistan was grilled during this meeting about the involvement of the Lashkar-e-Toiba, about the targeting of civilians by religion, about accountability. And on top of that, terrorism was condemned unequivocally by one and all members, as we are told, which is absolutely correct. Terrorism is a reprehensible act, and who can condone it today? So if you add all of this together, not to mention also the fact that Pakistan's escalatory rhetoric was also, they were asked to tone it down. And importantly, they were asked to look into the issue within a bilateral ambit, resolving the issues between India and Pakistan without trying to internationalize it, which has been India's position all along. So if you take all of this together, you will see that it was certainly no victory for Pakistan. Then let's look at support. From what we are told again, after the meeting was held, the Pakistan PR was isolated at the press takeout point just outside the UN Security Council. Now, that is very important. I myself remember standing next to PRs when they were pushing or pressing forward with a particular cause that was important to them. And that is very strong symbolic support. But nobody was there, as we are told. So there was no support. Pakistan was isolated. So if you look at the outcome, nothing at all. If you look at support, there was none whatsoever.
Indeed, there was no support. But Pakistan's repeated failure to gain traction in the UNSC, it reflects the world's recognition, doesn't it, ma'am, that terrorism, proxy warfare emanates from Pakistan?
Yeah, I think, Gauri, the answer to this question is in your question itself. And I think Pakistan's track record is known to one and all. It's not a mystery to anyone, including at the United Nations. I myself was at the United Nations for those 2 years, and I do recall that they used each and every opportunity to raise the Kashmir issue. In fact, so much so that it had almost become a standing joke amongst delegates. And they were very isolated on this issue. Their rhetoric was always very, very abrasive, very aggressive, and it had nothing to do whatsoever with the issue that was being discussed. So I think repeatedly raising this issue speaks of a certain desperation to me. Performative, theatrical for audiences back home. And repeatedly bringing up an issue, raking an issue without any facts, without any fresh facts, without any frameworks, in fact, I feel is counterproductive. Even those few friends or sympathizers or supporters who might wish to believe in you or support you, even they would get isolated. So I think their track record, which is pretty much miserable, speaks for itself. And while we are talking about this, let's not forget Osama bin Laden. After all those denials, where was he? Where was he found? In Pakistan. Need I say no? Need I say more?
India and UK have concluded an ambitious and mutually beneficial free trade agreement that will deepen the bilateral, comprehensive and strategic partnership and catalyze trade and investment, Prime Minister Modi said on Tuesday after a conversation with his British counterpart, Keir Starmer. The deal was finalized 3 years after Mr. Modi and his former British counterpart, Boris Johnson, set a target of concluding the FTA by October 2022. Since then, the negotiations had been affected by differences on a range of issues, including tariffs on alcohol and automobiles and political turmoil in the UK.
This historic India-UK trade agreement that's set to redefine the equation between both countries. The Prime Minister announced this on Twitter. The United Kingdom has also announced that, it is a very big step. So here are 6 key points on why this is a significant deal. Now, the free trade agreement and the double contribution convention mark a historic milestone in the India-UK comprehensive strategic partnership. It strengthens the foundation for long-term collaboration. Now, the agreements will significantly boost bilateral trade and investment between two of the world's largest open market economies, creating new business opportunities. By promoting trade in goods and services, the free trade agreement is expected to spur innovation and generate new employment opportunities in both India and the United Kingdom. The agreements deepen people-to-people connects through increased mobility. It fosters stronger cultural and economic bonds between the United Kingdom and India. The free trade agreement enables India and the UK to collaborate on developing products and services for global markets, enhancing their joint competitiveness on the world stage. The balanced and ambitious free trade agreement aims to raise the living standards and improve the overall well-being of people in both countries by reducing trade barriers and strengthening economic security. This aligns with the UK's plan for change and India's growth ambitions.
The Supreme Court has inquired about FIRs following suicides of IIT Kharagpur student and NEET aspirant, highlighting a rise in student suicides. The top court on Tuesday sought to know if FIRs were registered after suicides of an IIT Kharagpur student and a NEET aspirant in Rajasthan's Kota. My colleague Nupur joins me for more on this story. Nupur, can you tell us what more has the top court asked about these suicides of the aspiring students of IIT Kharagpur and the Kota aspirant?
Well, yes, the Supreme Court today, in fact, has taken this cognizance of these two cases. It was the bench headed by Justice J.B. Pardiwala that today has, in fact, posed this question and has, in fact, now sought a status report on both these incidents, of the reported suicides in IIT Kharagpur and coaching centers of Kota. We have seen there have been increasing number of such cases when it comes to students committing suicide. Now, remember earlier in March, the bench had, in fact, the same bench had directed formation of a national task force to address mental health concerns of students and prevent the rising number of suicide in higher educational institutions. The national task force is being headed by Justice S.R. Bhatt, who is a retired judge, and it is yet to submit its entire report that the Supreme Court has in fact sought from it. But now, separate from this, the Supreme Court has in fact sought status report of these two incidents of reported suicide at IIT Kharagpur and coaching centers of Kota.
Thank you very much, Nupur, for getting us all those details. A team of elite National Security Guard is in Puri today to hold a meeting to oversee the security of the revered Jagannath Temple. The Sri Jagannath Temple Administration and NSG will hold a meeting over the security measures that have been put in place at the temple. My colleague Saurabh Gupta joins me for more on this story. Saurabh, what has been the need for this exercise that is being conducted?
Well, this has been a part of an ongoing, exercise to try and identify vulnerabilities in the security systems and the security apparatus in place at the Jagannath temple. Now, the Jagannath temple draws lakhs of visitors throughout the year, but during the Rath Yatra, it has lakhs of devotees congregating in that area, and that makes it a potential target. And therefore, the security has to be foolproof. And given that it's such an old installation, it's such a revered and sacred temple, and it's one of the 4 Char Dhams of Dwarka, Badrinath, Rameshwaram, and Puri. So obviously there is a lot of security attached to this particular temple, this particular dham, and Jagannath dham. And obviously this is something that that the authorities would want to ensure that the security there is foolproof, which is why you have the elite force, the NSG commandos, coming in and holding this meeting with the temple authorities and the local administration to ensure that the security of the temple is foolproof and that all measures that need to be taken to ensure that nothing goes wrong, no untoward incident happens, that security measures are in place. That is the aim of this particular exercise that's being carried out, and the meetings that are being held between the elite NSG commandos, the local administration, and the temple administration as well.
Bhuvan Ribhu has become the first Indian lawyer to receive the Medal of Honor from the World Jurist Association. This prestigious award was bestowed on Ribhu at the World Law Congress in the Dominican Republic on 5th of May. The honors, and this honor is for his unwavering service to children.
A global recognition for a jurist who has fundamentally transformed India's approach to child protection, recasting it not as a matter of social welfare, but as a crisis demanding urgency, accountability, and redress through the criminal justice system. As Bhuvan Ribhu became the first Indian lawyer to receive the Medal of Honor from the World Jurist Association, it affirmed that India's commitment to ending crimes against children with the power of the rule of law is being acknowledged and expected to lead by example.
I would like to thank the World Jurist Association, my friend Javier, the people of the Dominican Republic, the 2 honorable ministers. I would like to say that this award and honor is for every child who chose to fight, who chose to not remain silent. This is an honor for every child and every parent who continue to toil in courts. We may have the best legal systems, but these are the children, these are the parents, these are the people to whom justice must reach. For every NGO who continues to fight along with me, for every lawyer who continues to toil in courtrooms for ensuring justice for children.
For over 2 decades, Bhuvan Ribhu has harnessed the power of the rule of law to combat modern-day slavery, child trafficking, forced labor, child sexual abuse, and child marriage. As the founder of Just Rights for Children, Ribhu has built a nationwide network of more than 250 partner organizations across 28 states, determined to end violence against children and ensure that survivors receive justice with urgency. Ribhu is also the founder of the Child Marriage Free India campaign, which has risen from the grassroots and led by courageous women. It has in just 2 years become the largest civil society initiative to end this deeply pervasive crime.
This award recognizes the tireless work and incredible journey of advocate Bhuvan Ribhu, who is also the founder of Just Rights for Children, and his years of sustained leadership in bringing in the strategic litigations in Supreme Courts and High Courts across the country. He has achieved more than 30 plus judgments in his 20 years journey, and this is a testament that things can change in the ground.
As the Medal of Honor recognizes the collective efforts of Just Rights for Children, the networks and Bhuvan Ribhu's lifelong pursuit of justice, gains even greater momentum, shaping the path to protecting thousands of children in India and around the world.